Hi there, so this is John with TriStars in Denver. Today we are going to do a steel casement replacement window. When I say casement, one side cranks up. I will show you in a bit. So this is the same window from the inside. As you can see, it's kind of broken. The turning handle doesn't work anymore, obviously. This thing is just so outdated. But it was the best technology they had at the time. So let's take it out. So when I measured this particular window, I measured from the interior concrete to the interior concrete or stucco. It's plaster. It's actually lath and plaster on this house. On the inside, there's concrete block. So it's not really lath and plaster, it's just plaster. But basically, I measured top and bottom from side to side, and I did the same way vertically and found the smallest measurement. That's the size of the window. Okay, step number one is we actually are going to cut what holds in the swinging sash. So we're going to use a sawzall to cut that. As you can see, I've already cut partially through. So I'm going to do the bottom and the top. The top might be a little harder to get because it's so close to the ceiling, but we'll see what we can do. Okay, so step number two is I'm actually going to cut down through the frame on this. So in doing that, sometimes you can't cut all the way through. What I have to do is get my crowbar in underneath on the outside and kind of pry it up like yay, so that I can cut the rest of the frame through. So now the frame is cut through, I can actually pry it out. See, this is starting to move, but make sure you take your utility knife and cut the paint and caulk along the edges all the way around the window, so it might pull, depending on what you have, drywall, stucco off, whatever it is, plaster. Just make sure you try to cut that bond. Okay, so now we're going to pull the frame out. Alright, so I'm going to put a block or a 5-way so I don't damage the drywall too much. I'm going to pry that out. See? So it's actually pretty nice. I can actually just reach in here. So now I've got that bent out. Okay, see? Still got part of the frame in there. I got that side bent out. I'm going to have to put a crowbar in here and kind of bring this down. Okay, so now I'm prying it down. I'm going to have to get a bigger crowbar for this. So next, I've got it pried down. You have to get it past the nailing fin. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this here, because what I want to do is for the whole window is I'm going to go outside and kind of pull the rest of it over this way, and it should pop out. So let me cut that off. Okay, so we got that cut off. Now I'm kind of feeling lazy. There's a way to break all the glass out of here, take this storm off, okay? And then what we do is usually tape it. But today I'm feeling kind of lazy, and I'm actually going to probably just pry it over and see if we can just get it to pry over. So we'll start that now. Actually, I think we're gonna have to take this storm off. All right, so I took the storm off, as you can see. Right, and I was able to get a crowbar in there between the brick and the window and start to pry it over. Right, so we'll have to do one here, and then we'll put a crowbar in here on top and just kind of slowly just move it over. If I've got to loosen it up here, I might pry this bottom out a little more. That usually helps do that, but I'll probably just get a bigger bar and then pry it over. I should say, once the storm is off, then what I would do is I would put some type of duct tape across that glass. Steel casements are probably some of the easiest to take out, except they're the most dangerous. I can't tell you how many stitches I've had, because if you're prying that window over and a big piece of glass breaks out, it could come down and catch you on the hands or the legs. And I've had numerous stitches over the years. So again, be very careful. These are very dangerous. They're easy to get out, I think. However, they're very dangerous windows. So always, once the storm is off, duct tape that glass on both sides, and that'll stop from glass. Doesn't mean you can't still get cut. All right, so I actually had to go inside and kind of pry this frame out a little bit this way to loosen this up. See how much farther out we are now. So now we should usually be able to get a bar in there and just kind of keep prying it over, right? I just work my way up, and voila, our window pretty much just fell out. And here's what your frame's going to look like inside. So we got it's brick exterior, it's concrete block, and that's what this looks like. So we're going to clean up any extra, if there's any concrete that's sticking past the inside, like here it's past a little bit, so I got to take that out. We're just going to vacuum this up and clean it up. Alright, so we've cleaned up the sill. We ran a scraper down this edge where any paint might protrude past, you know, if it rained or caught, kind of cleaned it up. Alright, so I made a mark. My window is 3 1/4 inches wide. Right? So I measured from basically from where my old caulk line is in, which was about 3. So I want my window to stick out about 1/4 inch past it to cover the little caulk line, right? And so basically, if I measured from here to here, I was about 3 inches all the way around. So I just made a mark on each corner, about 3 inches from the corner. And then you just make sure you double check that that'll cover the little caulk line, so you can stick the frame of the window out past a little bit, just kind of make it look prettier. So as you can see, we've actually installed the window, and I put some exterior trim on. As you can see, I have insulated all the way around it with foam insulation. You got to make sure you use the right kind, though, the kind that doesn't expand too much. But you are seeing the finished product. This from beginning to end only took about an hour.